Hello there, and welcome to Alvarez's Diecast Customs. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Hot Wheels Ford 32. Going to be doing sort of a street rod version on this one. Trying some different things with the painting. Got some ideas for that. It's a nice looking little car to begin with. Quite like the matte black paint. The body stripes on the sides. Overall pretty damn good looking car. So we'll just take a closer look at it here. I've already taken the time to drill the posts out. I use a 2mm drill bit and then work up to a 5mm to take the top of the head off. And I like to use some 2mm self-tapping screws to screw the base back on. One of their plastic bases. Already taken the time to clip out the wheels on that one. You can see how I did that with some side cutters in the previous video, the Ford Unicorn. Got the interior there and the dreaded chrome as always that they like to use on these things. Nice looking little engine though. I'll be repainting all of that. Got a clear window piece. Won't be need to do anything with that one at all. Leave it as it is. There's the body. You can see where I've drilled that out and tapped it with the self-tapping screws. It's overall pretty good. There's a few sort of moulding lines we might need to take care of with the file, especially around the back there. It's a bit rough. Let's get on to stripping it. Got my standard pot paint stripper. Questionable looking as always. Drop that in there. I'm going to shake that around and leave it for about 30 minutes to an hour. After that, we just drop it into a bowl of hot water, mix it around and scrape it off with an old toothbrush, and you're left with this. I've already gone over it with a wire wheel off camera. You've seen all that before in my previous videos if you'd like to take a look. I'm just going to work at these moulding errors on the edges and the back there with these diamond files. Really just working on that rear one there. There's quite a lot of material needed to be removed on that. Going hyperspeed for this. There's also one on the sort of front scoop. Remove those. Around the windows, remove those too. Again, these are, in my opinion, one of the most important things to do when you're doing these customs. Really finishing off the moulding. Clearing out some of the errors and the wrinkles in it. Really gives a much better finish when you put the paint on them. So for the wheels, we'll be using these Hot Wheels Real Riders. He's got a sort of like a nice hot roddy street sort of look to it I liked. However, they weren't quite wide enough to fit on the chassis, so I'm going to have to make up some axles for them. I just clipped the axles as they were with a pair of pliers, and I'm going to replace them with this brass tube. As you can see, the axle fits in quite snugly. And the wheels still spin freely when they're inserted into them. We're just going to size it up. As it is, the brass tube will not slot directly into the original slots where the axles went. So I just used my file again. It's got just the right size to it as the brass tube, so just sort of work that into the groove. Remove some of the plastic material. Just test fitting again. It is. Fits in nice and flush now. Perfect sort of slotted in there. Again, just offering up the interior because the interior is the piece that holds the axles in. As you can see, that's nice and snug, just where we need it. Just do the rear as well, same principle. Slots in nice and snug. Again, test fitting. Do multiple test fits throughout the whole build, just make sure everything fits correctly before I start going onto the paint. Now to cut this, it's very simple. I just use a Sharpie just to mark out it's kind of roughly where I need to cut. Nothing special for cutting, just a sharp scalpel. Just roll it on the cutting mat with the blade on it for a bit. Not too much pressure because you don't want to crush it, you just want to slowly cut into the brass. The brass is soft, so the blade goes through it very easily eventually. There you go. Pings off quite neatly. You can see the cut it's made. Very clean. Now, in order to put the axles in, I'm going to be filing a channel out of it using one of my files. This is so I can pop the glue into it to hold the axles tight. Because if you just put the glue on the end of the axles and try and slide them in, the glue just ends up going all over the wheels and everything, and you tend to just glue the wheels together to the axles. Kind of makes a bit of a mess. So there you go, you can see what I'm after there. And just see those little two holes. And we can put the glue into, holds the axles tight, and allows the wheels to spin freely. And there you go, I've done the fronts too. You can see the drop of glue on each end. And there's the rears again. Also glued. Spins nicely. Now, for the painting, I did the Halford's primer as always. And for the paint, you'll be surprised. It's pink. I decided to try out some old Tamiya polycarbonate PS sprays that I've had. They've been knocking around in the shed for about 10 years. I used to do them for the Tamiya body shells for the remote control cars. So it's not specifically sort of a model paint, it's more for painting the remote control car shells, so it sort of etches into it. It doesn't give a very smooth finish, but I just wanted to give it a go, just see how it came out, see if they were usable. There we are, just painting some of the extra details on the chassis there with my favourite metallic grey from Tamiya. Doing the Revell silver on the engine. It's a nice looking pink though, I do like how it came out. Slightly orange peely, but that was to be expected with using a different sort of paint. Hoping the clear coat can fix that. You know, you can see I just painted in the engine and the front grille there. Using some Citadel Nuln oil onto the engine there. As you can see, I've also dabbed a little black paint on the end of the exhaust tips, just to give it a bit more sort of realism. I also painted the interior in a flat white from Tamiya. It's only on the first coat, it's kind of patchy, but I'll go over that with subsequent coats. There's the Nuln oil all over the engine, really gives some good depth to that. Now on the body, there's a sort of a body line around the door and the bottom there and around the wheel arch. I'm just going to pick it out with this Molotow chrome pen. You got a steady hand for putting it around that. So I like to use the helping hands to clip onto the body. So I got both hands free just to sort of move it around and get the right angle for it. Just take my time doing that. Breaks up the pink a bit, I find. And is that done? I also went over the chassis as well with some Nuln oil. Still wet there, it'll dry off. And there's that interior piece again with extra white paint on it. I didn't want a full solid sort of white, I did like the sort of patchiness of it. Gave it a bit more sort of realism with the depth. So after some couple of coats of clear coat. I'm going to start building this back up. There's that interior. I did a bit of clear coat over the front pink grille bit, just so that blended in well with the gloss. And there's our wheels that we've fashioned up some axles for them. Just drop those in. Pop that base back on. Base had a heavy dose of clear coat too, seals everything in. Pop the screws back in. So, before I reveal it, let's take a look at what we started with. It's a great looking little Ford 32, that one, to begin with. Wasn't really feeling the wheels with it. They were quite skinny on the rear, didn't quite suit it. So, let's have a look what we ended up with. Quite a brave colour choice, I feel, but I quite like how it turned out. Got quite an iconic sort of look to it in my eyes. I really like the wheels, I think they were a good choice. So yeah, really happy with how this one came out too. Another great one to add to the collection. It's quite a simple makeover for this one, especially compared to my previous build on that Unicorn. This was basically just a wheel swap and a repaint. It's quite nice to do something quite simple like that. I'll just take a closer look at it from here. As you can see, it still freely rolls, which is exactly what I wanted from it. I didn't want the wheels to have been seized up or anything. There's that chrome line over it. Looks really good with that. A simple looking engine. Didn't want to overdo that. Glad the chrome's gone though. That looks really garish. Sort of understated now with the more muted silver with the old sort of weathering Nuln oil on it. You can see the paint's relatively glossy. Still got a slight orange peel to the roof, but you just can't get rid of that with that paint that I used. It was just a test really with the polycarbonate paints. So yeah, another great one to add to the collection there. Really happy with that. So we're going to take a look at our Super Pochaco again and see what she's got for us next time. Oh, what's that? It's the Mustang. Is that for me? Nice. Thanks. Let's have a look. That's looking pretty sweet. I'm feeling sort of a Mad Max Gasland style to this one. Yeah, I like the detail on the rear there. This would be interesting. So thanks for watching. I just wanted to say thanks for all the new subscribers and the comments I've been getting recently. It's all very positive and really sort of encourages me to keep doing this. I quite enjoy doing it. And I just wanted to say thanks to a few notable people that have been commenting regularly and showing a lot of support. That'll be Sifman1776, Blind Rabbit, and Outlawed Speed Shop. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you lot next time. Bye for now.